Episode number 220. Are these comics going to make good film and television shows? We have Aquaman number 3, and we have Jump Scare number 1 by Dark Horse. Let's talk about them right now. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thank you so much for spending time with me as we rant about movies, comic books, and television shows, as well as the occasional board game. I am your host, Frank Zanca. I am an award-winning screenwriter, novelist, and comic book writer, as well as a filmmaker. Finally going back on set in a week or so. Kind of excited about that, so my videos will probably drop off a little bit. But yeah, we're going to be talking about two comics today from DC and from Dark Horse. Before we begin, remember to give me that like, give me that thumbs up if you can, and remember to share this video out so people can see what's out there from the publishers and what could hit your screen in the future. Also, I am a writer, as I said, so if you'd like to check out anything that I've written, you can go to Amazon.com and just type my name in. You'll see Destiny Aurora, which is my 4-novel series that was also made into a board game and RPG. It's also on the first book's on Audible, and it was also made into a graphic novel. The graphic novel is on there. It is basically a adaptation of the first book. Then I have my fantasy novel called Tales of Ravenor the Iron Witch. There's a Holocaust biography based on a true story. That's basically what a biography is. There's also a ghost story up there called The Awakening. There's a pile of stuff up there if you want. Plus, my comics are there as well, so definitely check those out. All right, so let's jump into Aquaman. We're going to talk about Aquaman a great deal today because Aquaman is my favorite character. As if you were following my channel, you probably know that. And I was excited because I am friends with Jeremy Adams, who I took his kids to Japan after MegaCon, so I hope he's probably back by now. But what a great dad! I asked him if he wanted to adopt me, but that was a no. But anyway, I love him to death, and but I'm also a fan of Aquaman, and this does not feel like Aquaman to me. So this is one of my prized possessions here. This is some of the first stuff by Aquaman or involving Aquaman by Paul Levitz and Jim Aparo. This one is really great. This basically sets the tone for Aquaman. Of course, he starts out and then he gets canceled, and then he starts again and he gets canceled. Probably in the vein of Captain Marvel. Then, of course, Jeff Johns picked him up with Rebirth, which I thought was great because I hated. Everybody liked the Peter David stuff where you kind of had his hand cut off. I didn't like that. But we got him brought back. He had his hand put back on and everything like that with Jeff Johns. And then Dan Abnett picked it up after that, and his run is really good as well. So I suggest if you're looking for some good Aquaman stuff, this really is the stuff to pick up. I definitely read the Rebirth. Jeff Johns stuff is excellent as well, where we have the relationship. That was basically the movie was based on a lot of Jeff Johns stuff with the trench and stuff like that. And even though I thought that Momoa was a very, very bad pick for Aquaman, I mean, some of that stuff is really good. I thought that his look and feel of the world was great. Was really great. So this takes place after the Absolute Power stuff, where people's powers are changed over. Lois Lane has the powers of Zod right now. I thought the whole idea of Absolute Power was complete crap, and I didn't go near it. And Aquaman now has the powers of Mera, who has no powers at all. But I guess it doesn't matter right now because we have Atlantis is disappeared. And he goes through an Omega portal. And I think that Jeremy is trying to do King Arthur stuff with him instead of doing Aquaman stuff with him. So there's two different ideas. I didn't talk to Jeremy about this. I don't know because I didn't read this before my conversations with him at MegaCon, and of course he was also on my channel as well. I'll put the interview with Jeremy up above. You can click on that. But if you, there's only one or two things that Jeremy was either thinking. Either he doesn't know the character at all, which I find that hard to believe because when you see Green Lantern and you see Flash and you see Flash Gordon and stuff like that he does a lot of investigation into the character and research into the character and stuff like that. So either that or he did. So I know that wasn't the case. I just don't think he identified with the character at all, which I find very strange, and just decided to scrap all of it and create something new. That's the only thing I can think of, because this is not Aquaman. It's just, there's no resemblance of Aquaman to this. So anyway, since he has Mera's powers, he's using blood because he can control liquid. So he's got aquakinesis, and that was always the differentiation between him and Mera, was that she had the aquakinesis and he had the strength and the ability to talk to the aquatic life. I did like the subplot of this where his dad, of course, runs the this outpost with the lighthouse to, of course, make sure that the boats don't hit the shore, and don't break up on the rocks. So his son, which of course is Aquaman, says, "Oh, my friends were making fun of you because you really don't have a real job. You just sit here at the lighthouse." And then lightning hits the lighthouse while a boat's coming in. So now it's too dark for the boat to see anything, and they're going to crash up against the rocks. So he has to think quickly about how to fix it. So I liked all that. I thought that was something unique for at least the dad in the past. But then we jump to this Arctic thing. So the other guy, he broke out of prison, and the woman there is the Lady of the Lake from Arthurian times. Yeah. So we have them get out of the ice, and they are looking for something to find out where Atlantis went. But they have to do some kind of a magical spell. But meanwhile, you have this guy named Dakin that looks like Thanos, and he is controlling the blue. So he's trying to kind of say, well, we have the green in DC, which is Poison Ivy and Swamp Thing, so why would we not have the blue? I think it's a stretch, man. I think it's a stretch. So anyway, they start this spell, and they talk about all, how basically there's Swamp Thing, there's Green Lantern, and then they're talking about the blue and how all these things interconnect, and they're all based into objects and things to that effect, which hence they trying to find this object or create this object or whatever they're trying to do. I'm not exactly sure. But anyway, he decides to go outside where, the artwork's generally decent. I think some of the faces look a little strange, especially in the beginning. But apparently there's some storyline in World's Finest or something like that with him and Swamp Thing, which I did not read. But anyway, I do like this little mermaid character. I thought that at least seemed semi-Aquamanish. But she ends up stabbing him, where he's got the sword inside of him. So I guess so much for the armor. And then they take him stabbed to see Dakin. But we go back to them relighting the lighthouse. Again, I think I liked the B story more than I liked the A story, where he ends up being proud of his father. I kind of like that. But anyway, they're taking him to see Dakin. And it's unfortunate for me that I am none too impressed with this story. So to drop a book with my favorite character in it, I've had to do that twice because I really want to collect something with Storm in it, but nothing's good. So I've dropped everything with Storm in it. Everybody's like saying how great the Storm series is. I hate it. They gave her cosmic powers. How is that Storm? She's an X-Men. She's a mutant. She's not a freaking cosmic god. It doesn't. The characters have to feel like the characters if you want to follow them. And this does not feel like Aquaman. This is like, I hate to say it this way, but a fish out of water situation. It just doesn't. It doesn't fit the character at all. So I'm probably going to go to 5, and if things don't change drastically where it feels like the character, I'm going to drop it. Sad but true. So yeah, I'm disappointed with Aquaman completely. I know some people are liking it, but I'm just not one of them. Mostly because I guess they really weren't fans of the original character. If you're not fans of the original character, you might like this better than I do. But I like the original. I mean, I grew up with him on a seahorse at Super Friends, and stuff like that. This is not that. All right, so everybody said that this was another good book that I should pick up. It was recommended, called Jump Scare by Colin Bunn. I do like Colin Bunn. I like the Sixth Gun. I collected a lot of the Sixth Gun stuff because it felt very like Six Gun Savior, which is the movie I made, and I like Westerns. So I collected quite a bit of that. And poor Cullen Bunn, because I had heard, this is several years ago, probably half a decade ago, that they had made a pilot for the Sixth Gun. And it was scrapped because it was too expensive. Poor Cullen Bunn, man, to have a pilot actually made and scrapped, that sucks. But anyway, so now he's trying this horror thing, which is a character called Jump Scare, who is a superhero, but she can conjure things from horror movies that she's seen, which is an interesting idea, but I don't think it was done very well here. So we're going through, this horror type of thing, especially the last panel there, which is funny. It's based in Empire City, so it's not in real city. And I do not like the look of the character at all. There's just nothing interesting about that character in the least. So anyway, she ends up fighting against this Cthulhu-type character, villain, and she has one red eye and one blue eye, and I'm sure that is a reference to the old 3D glasses. I'm pretty sure. But anyway, she takes selfies with people that she saves, and she's an internet sensation. And then we go backwards to her origin, where we find out that her parents are very religious. I'm not sure if they're preachers or whatever. And her sister is heavily involved with them and creating charities and working on, she's the good one and the other one is the bad one. But meanwhile, she keeps going to horror movies and she gets attacked by a few guys and she tries to run away, but she ends up running, and then this is her origin story. She runs into this entity where she feels drawn into an alley. That's right, her name is Allie, and she goes into an alley. Yes, now I remember. But anyway, this thing gives her her powers. We have no idea why this happens to her, why she's chosen, or anything to that effect. But she is, and she just saw a movie with a weed whacker as a weapon, and she kills them all. Okay. So, I don't know. And then we go back into the future, I guess. And I guess she has her own apartment now. She's not living with her family. And she's watching herself on the news, etc. And then these guys show up to take her in with weapons. And she takes them all out, or not all of them, but most of them. And one guy says, I'm just supposed to take you to see your parents. Why didn't they just say that to begin with? And so, but we did an action scene, I guess. So she goes to see her parents, and she's shocked when her mom gives her a hug. And they tell her that her sister's been taken, and that she needs to go save her sister. Okay. Exciting stuff, man. Exciting stuff. That's exciting. If you say so. And I don't know if he's just not allowed to use real movies, but they like 2 movie tickets up there of whatever the thing is, because apparently all these movies are made up, which kind of defeats the purpose, because that means Cullen can do whatever he wants. He just makes up a movie, whatever she needs at the moment. He can just make up a movie instead of, using real movies. He does mention real movies in here. He doesn't use weapons from real movies. So, I don't know. She does use a chainsaw, but you could use Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but again, she uses something completely different. So I don't know because if you say a real movie in there, I think that's, general domain you can use. The movie itself won't be public domain, but the fact that it's a public image or whatever else, I think you're allowed to say the name of it. So wouldn't be used. The characters really can't be used in it, but saying the name, I can't see why that's not allowed. But anyway, will this make a good film or television show based on the first book? Because I'm not continuing this. I would say no. There's no story here, and the character doesn't look good, and there's just nothing memorable about this. So everybody said it was good. I'm like, it's average to me. And then Aquaman, no, this doesn't even feel. This feels worse than Momoa. And like I said, even though he's my favorite character, I was waiting for a new Aquaman book to come out, and now I'm going to be dropping it. Got 2 issues, and then I'm out. All right, well, that's it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. Remember to give me a like, subscribe if you can, ring that bell, ding, ding, and if you can, share. That would be great as well. Remember, too, to look at some of my stuff on Amazon. Just type my name into Amazon. There's also a link in the description below. Destiny Aurora, Tales of Ravenor, Escape from Berlin, The Awakening, Shadow Raven. There's just a pile of stuff on there. Comics, Lords of L.A., Destiny Aurora's up there too. Destiny Aurora's on Audible as well. Check it all out. Thanks for watching. Have a great week, and I will see you on the next episode. Bye-bye.